Stay there, Ben.
Well, I've said many times, the president deciding to go into Iran and to hit nuclear facilities in Operation Midnight Hammer, and then to go after Iran's ballistic missile facilities, nuclear facilities, Army, Navy, and Air Force in this current operation was the signal act of political bravery, perhaps of my lifetime. With that said, this MOU appears to be, just from the text, a disaster that does not achieve any of the actual signal goals that were set by the administration at the beginning. There were effectively 5 goals that were set by the administration at the beginning. One was ending the nuclear program, not just nuclear weapons, no nuclear enrichment, zero enrichment. That is not in the deal. Ballistic missiles ended. That is not in the deal. And the president today suggested that ballistic missiles should actually continue to be held by the Iranians because the Saudis, our allies, also hold ballistic missiles. Then you have the support of terrorism. That is not part of the deal. Anything that looks like an attempt to end terrorism. A permanent opening of the Strait of Hormuz toll-free. Not only is that not in the deal appears to have a provision allowing Iran and Oman to attempt to toll the strait after 60 days. And then finally, the idea that Iran would receive some sort of sanctions relief after all of those things happen. We are already seeing from day one relief in their ability to ship oil out of Iran. In my opinion, the Vice President of the United States, the chief negotiator on this particular project, has not well served the president.
So just...
That last part is interesting, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. But that's Ben Shapiro talking about what a disaster this memorandum of understanding that could possibly lead to a deal with Iran actually is. Is there anybody out there who actually believes this is a good deal besides Donald Trump? Because elected Republicans say it's a bad deal. Conservative MAGA pundits say it's a bad deal. Liberals and independents say it's a bad deal. Donnie thinks it's a good deal, right? But not many other people do. And I found it interesting what Ben Shapiro said at the end, that JD Vance did not serve the president well in these negotiations, as if this whole thing wasn't being directed by Donald Trump. And don't get me wrong, I don't think JD Vance knows what the fuck he's doing either, but this is all at the direction of Donald Trump. But there we're talking about JD Vance because he was the negotiator in the whole thing. Donald Trump still has to sign off on it. Donald Trump still has to agree to whatever JD Vance comes out of that room with. Is this the beginning of seeing JD Vance being scapegoated for this whole thing going tits up? Because it's going to go tits up. This thing is not going to go the way he thinks it's going to go. They're going to toll. They're going to hit things. This is not over. Israel's not done hitting things. And part of the agreement so far, the memorandum of understanding, is that they got to stop as well, and Bibi Netanyahu says they're not going to stop. So this whole thing is going to go tits up. And when it does, are they going to blame JD Vance? It certainly sounds like Ben Shapiro is teeing it up for that. Well, it was JD Vance that went in and negotiated this fucking bad deal. I think we might be beginning to see that groundwork being laid.